Alright, this is IMAX Nation 1980 here with the next section of my record collection. I'm going to film this one a bit differently. Instead of filming it without narration and dubbing the narration onto it, I'm just going to narrate it as I go, but quickly as possible, because for some reason, I don't know if it's YouTube or if it's Windows Movie Maker, it's been throwing the audio off, and quite frankly, it's kind of annoying, so I'm going to do it this way from now on. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. Okay, last video, I stopped after classical music, and now these are comedy records. Starting off, Bill Cosby is a very funny fellow, right? 1963. Now this is interesting right here. This is Bert and I, STEM Inflation and Other Stories by Marshall Dodge and Robert Bryan. And I couldn't find a year for this album, but I'll have to find it eventually. If you know what the year is, please tell me. It's New England humor, in case you didn't know. And The Return of Bert and I, another comedy record from the two. Okay, we got Cheech and Chong's self-titled debut album. This was released in 1971. Cheech and Chong, Big Bamboo, 1972. David Fry, I Am the President, 1970. Doug Harrell, Hospitality Blues, 1961. Although, another title is Laugh a Spell with Doug Harrell, but according to some sites, it's Hospitality Blues. There's so many things on the cover, you don't know what it is. Alright, this is the Fire Sign Theater. How can you be in two places at once when you're not anywhere at all? That was released in 1969. George Carlin, FM and AM, 1972. George Carlin, Class Clown, also from 1972. George Carlin, Operation Full, 1973. Okay, here we have An Evening with Groucho, Groucho Marx, 1972. Justin Wilson's Wilsonville, US&A, 1961. No, actually 1962. Sorry about that. Here's a good one. The First Family, Von Meter, 1962. W.C. Fields Festival, from his personal collection, The Further Adventures of Larson E. Whipsnade, 1974. And here's another W.C. Fields album, Poppy, also from 1974. Alright, now moving on to country music. This is classic country right here. This is Honky Tonk Favorites by Ace O'Donnell. It's from 1957. Buck Owens and his Buckaroos, Open Up Your Heart, 1966. We Americans, A Musical Journey with Burl Ives. This is a National Geographic record from 1978. C.W. McCall's Greatest Hits, 1983. John Denver, Back Home Again, 1974. Johnny Cash's Greatest Hits, Volume 1, 1967. This was in my recent update. The Kendalls, Heaven's Just a Sin Away, 1977. Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin Brothers Band, Greatest Hits, 1980. Ramblin' Down Country Roads with Tennessee Ernie Ford, from 1979. This is another National Geographic album. Alright, and here's a country holiday album, originally in the holiday section, but I moved it over to here. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Tex Johnson and his Six Shooters. I think this is the only record Tex Johnson ever did. Not too sure. I looked up info on this album and I couldn't find a year. Couldn't find out what year it was released. Waylon and Willie. Of course, Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, 1978. Willie Nelson, The Sound in Your Mind, 1976. And Willie Nelson, The Troublemaker, also from 1976. Now, this is a different section of, like, a sub-genre of country, golf and western, Jimmy Buffett style. And I only have one album by him, and it's Songs You Know by Heart, Jimmy Buffett's Greatest Hits, 1985. I will move him to another section, probably. Alright, now I'm moving on to folk music. Now, first of all, Clifton Chenier, he's more Creole, I hope I'm saying that right, Cajun, a little bit of jazz, in a style called Zydeco, if I'm pronouncing that right. But right now I have him in the folk section, so I'll move him to another section pretty soon. This is Clifton Chenier and his Red Hot Louisiana Band, 1978. Gordon Lightfoot, Sunday Concert, 1969. The Best of Gordon Lightfoot, 1970. Sing and Play a Folk Song, Jim and Art, 1962. Joan Armatrading, Show Some Emotion, 1977. Joan Baez, 5, 1964. John Prine, 1971. Prine, The Best of John Prine, 1976. Judith, by Judy Collins, 1975. This one doesn't have a sleeve. The Kingston Trio, from The Hungry Eye. There's the label there. 1959. The Best of Peter, Paul, and Mary, 10 Years Together, 1970. And here's The Best of the Seekers. This was probably an album released in the 60s, but this reissue is from the 1970s and has a much shorter track listing from instead of the previous one. Tim Hardin 4, 1969. The Best of Tim Hardin, also 1969. And Tom Rush, 1970.